Well, folks, I would say good morning, everyone, as I usually do, but I worked so hard securing this electric fence and even did what the wildlife control manual says, to tempt them with peanut butter on tinfoil on the wire so they get a taste of the electric and they don't want to try to jump in. But even though we added a complete higher wire, I did this and then I spent 2 hours weed whacking because I thought maybe the weeds touching or dropping the power of the line or shorting it out. You recall, the prettiest thing in my garden down here was my sweet potatoes. And operative word is was. So 3 days ago, I guess it was 3 days ago, I noticed that they had gotten in. I only saw 2 or 3 deer prints. I couldn't tell how they had gotten in, jumped in. And so then I went to all those measures to make sure it didn't happen again. Now from the house, or from even the flower garden, you can't tell. It's that hour when everybody's going back and forth. You can't tell when as long as you see green, they ate the higher leaves, so they didn't, have to bend down as far. So everything is just clipped. So there's a product called deer fence, and I know Perma Pastures also has a product that's supposed to keep deer away. You've got to spray it probably every week, and then of course reapply it after a rain, and then just hope you don't forget and miss one time. I really thought I had it down now with all the extra measures, but they're getting in, crafty little buggers, somehow not getting shocked. I don't know. So I have that option, and I think you can spray that deer fence right on the plants, or maybe just right around the plants or on the plants, to make it unpalatable. But this is a lot of garden, and if they get hungry, if they can't get to the sweet potatoes, they'll get to the peas or something. And now I'm wishing that I had just put an 8-foot fence around this whole thing. An 8-foot fence they can't jump over, and I wish I'd done that. And you can't see in as well, but I don't care. I wish I had done that. I've spent so much time and money on this electric fence, getting help, putting it up, yada yada, all the parts, moving parts. So, you put 8-foot T-posts in, and you've only, once you get them down, you've only got 7 feet left. So they can jump 7 feet if they can see the other side, and if they don't have an obstacle like straw bale around the whole thing or brush around the whole thing. So the depth is where they have their issues. So yeah, I could put an inner fence. That's my other choice, just to protect the sweet potatoes. I can put an inner fence inside there. I have fencing up there that's 7.5 or 8 feet tall. But then I'm going to have like a little house in the middle of my garden, which is not going to be that pretty. And we want our gardens to be pretty after all the work. So anyway, that's what's going on here. That's just a quick little update. I'm overrun with weeds down here. I'm going to show you the purslane, and we have very bad air quality. I already feel it. So I told myself I was only going to stay out until 10. I brought my oscillating hoe on my Haas wheel hoe down to try it for the first time, because the other day, the purslane, I had a million shoots, you might remember, and I cleared it off on one side, but the soil was so wet it was hard to do, and I thought, well, let me come back when it dries out a little. Well, I didn't go back because I was doing all this other stuff. And so now it's like a green carpet, an absolute green carpet. Plus I need to thin the corn so that it can it won't stifle. I've got so many in those 3 rows of corn down there that I don't want them to be stifled. I need to thin those out, and I've got to thin out the okra, and I've got to weed. So and I got to be done in 2 hours. So, and get inside because it's unhealthy to be out. So that's what's going on here on the homestead. Just a quick little update. The sunflowers are blooming. The corn is tasseled. Thanks for following my journey here on the homestead. It's not all fun and games. It's not all beauty and harvests. It's a lot of really trying to figure out how you're going to protect what you're growing. And I've got so much to do. So I better get busy, right? Basically the same thing here. All my cucumbers are coming up. And then I'm just starting right here to do some thinning of the corn. As you can see, I put down way too many seeds. Yep. Yep. That really works. Just rake it up. Well, it's 8:55 and I'm soaking wet. Rivers of sweat are rolling down my spine. And I just wanted to pull into the shade and get a drink of water and let you know that I really like the oscillating hoe. Now, don't wait as long as I did. It still works, especially if your soil is moist, because the top of the soil is still relatively moist from recent rains. And so it just cut under that top layer like almost like a knife in butter. You do have to go back and forth, you know. And I know that was my first time, so you probably get a better technique of because if you pull back, then the blade is up and then it goes down, you know, until you finish, and then it goes up. So right in there you might miss a few, the deeper roots, but the best thing to do is to do it every single week and just get it when they're just this tall and not established like those were. So I didn't need to rake it, you know, you can just go through it and you're done, except that in my case the plants were so established and getting big that I needed to know if I had them all. The only way you know is if you rake it. So my goal was to just get that one area around the peas because that was the most concentrated, and then you know, when we have clear air, hopefully in a couple of days I'll be able to really attack other parts of the garden. And we may even get the tiller in here for certain areas. I'm not sure yet. But check the link below the video. I'll also put it in the first comment, the pinned comment, how to order any of Haas products through my link. You'll get a discount and I will get an affiliate commission. So win-win at no extra cost to you. So I really love the long-handled hoe. You know, I just came back and got closer to the edge. You don't want to get too close with the oscillating hoe and then mow down your whole row of peas. Thanks so much for watching this channel, liking the videos, sharing them with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Scroll down and click all so you won't miss anything right here on the homestead. I am building a sustainable homestead, come heck or high water. And I hope you're along for the journey. See you next time.